This video is brought to you by Raycon. You know how. The year 2026 is upon us, and a new year usually means new games. I know, it's crazy how that works. Doing these next year hype videos is always interesting because every year my video game habits and preferences change a little bit. I don't necessarily know what kinds of games I'll want to play in 2026. I don't know what games I'll actually get around to playing. And a lot of 2026 games likely have not even been revealed yet. So my hype list might change dramatically after a February Nintendo Direct. But at least for now, looking ahead, these are the 10 games I'm looking forward to playing most in the coming year. I do need to be honest with you though, there will be no Smash Mouth references in this video. I know, I'm sorry. It was the kind of bit you can only do so many times before the joke kind of just reaches its natural conclusion. So I can only hope that the, video game stuff is enough for you. And if not, if that's a deal breaker, I completely understand. Let's go. Starting with number 10. This series has not gotten a new game in so many years, and I am certainly not alone in saying that I cannot wait to finally play the latest entry. It is Rhythm Heaven Groove. Many moons ago, I was on eBay and found a good deal on Rhythm Heaven for DS, and it turned out to be a bootleg that occasionally deleted my data, but I still fell in love with the game. Everything about it, the whole package, was just so quirky, so unique, so charming. And I liked rhythm games, but there was something about this one that was really simple and yet so intuitive. Something about just working with taps and holds and flicks. It was just so tactile. It felt so good to pull off. And it has you build your own knowledge of the game and work with natural sound and rhythm cues rather than, following the usual visual prompts. So naturally, I am very excited for the new one. Just look at it. It looks like everything that you would want in a new Rhythm Heaven game. The characters are super cute. It all looks really funny. Visuals are really nice and sharp. And obviously, I just want to hear the new music. They're bringing back the original composer. Awesome. I will fully admit, though, I did try the Wii one, and I wasn't a huge fan. I don't know if it's just because the switch to buttons didn't feel as fun and intuitive to me, or it could have just been the place I was in my life at the time, so I'm technically not completely sure I will click in the same way with this game, but come on, I'm really excited to find out. At the bottom of this list, we've got a few games that are slightly iffy, but with really great potential, and number 9 is Control Resonant. I'm just not 100% sure yet if I'll like it. I didn't play the original Control, but I always wanted to. There's so much about the game, just the overall vibes and the just trippy reality stuff that really appealed to me, but I don't know if the gameplay appealed to me that much. Most of the game taking place in this one environment. I don't know, just I came really close to biting a number of times, and yet just something didn't win me over. But the reveal trailer for Resonant is calling me back all over again. Just wow, that trailer just absolutely dripping with so much style and atmosphere, tripling down on the trippy reality bending elements. And now I know that apparently it takes the fight out on the streets, outdoor environments, which are really going to open up a lot of visual possibilities. Apparently they're leaning a little bit more into RPG elements, calling it an action RPG, so that's exciting too. So I think I might just have to give this one a try, and I was a little bit worried starting with this one. I didn't want to miss out if I didn't play Control first, but apparently they're saying that these are kind of parallel stories, so you can start with either one. So if I end up liking this one, maybe then I can go back to the original. I don't know, we'll see. Looks really incredibly cool. Then we've got the final, slightly potentially iffy item on the list. Number 8 is the Duskbloods. Before we continue being excited about future video game releases, I must remind you that this video was brought to you by Raycon. Raycon is having their New Year's sale right now, which means it's a pretty darn good time to pick up a pair of their Everyday Earbuds Classic. These have the look and feel and buttons of the original Everyday Earbuds, but with modern features added. So, multi-point connectivity, multiple sound profiles, the ability to easily easily take calls, lots of silicone gel tips to fit any ear, along with up to 32 hours of battery life using the charging case, and active noise cancellation. These are easily my favorite Raycons ever. They're super comfortable, they never fall out, I can basically wear them all day. After months of constant rain, we're finally starting to get some little peaks of sunlight, so I'm trying to get out a lot more, and of course, I never leave my Raycons behind. They come in lots of fun colors and styles, you got a whole bunch of cases to choose from, they look real nice. And they even come with a 30-day happiness guarantee. To take advantage of Raycon's New Year's sale, head to buyraycon.com/Arlo, or hit the link in the description of this video, or scan this handy-dandy QR code and you can get 20% off your purchase. Thanks again to Raycon. You may now continue feeling excitement. You probably know the whole story by now. I love FromSoft, I'm a huge fan of their games, and then they revealed that they're bringing a brand new exclusive original IP to Switch to. Oh my goodness, that's crazy. And then the emotional whiplash of learning that it's a multiplayer game. But then from there, we learned a lot of really, really interesting details about the game. We still don't quite know what it is. They haven't really given us any additional information since those initial interviews, but like, there's a lot of really weird and experimental ideas going into it. It seems that sometimes there will be win conditions that aren't necessarily like competitive, you know, based on skill. That's my problem. I'm never gonna put enough time into any multiplayer game to get good at it, and I'm very much not good at FromSoft games, so like I am not going to be able to compete, so I don't know how much I will be able to engage with this game. But if there are enough times where you can work with people instead of against them, then I don't know, maybe it'll end up being great, because I really, really do love the overall idea, all the stuff that Miyazaki has said about the game so far. And more than anything, it's those vibes. Man, have you seen the trailer? It's so gritty and dark and nasty in this way that I absolutely love. It feels a lot like Dark Souls 1, and like, there you go, man. Just visually and thematically, everything we've seen so far, I find it very, very captivating. I'm very, very much interested to try it out. Hopefully it's not too much longer before we get more information, and hopefully it releases earlier in 2026, because I wish to try it, please. All right, things are really heating up now, getting real fierce. Number 7, Pokopia. I do like Pokémon. I did grow up with these little pocket monster characters, and the whole thing is a great idea, and the games can be fun. But boy, all that mainline stuff, it does get tiresome. It's a whole lot of controversy to wade through. So sometimes you just want a nice spin-off that takes the idea of Pokemon and the Pokemon themselves and presents it all in a new way. And a cozy island game in the vein of Dragon Quest Builders, even made by the same people. All right, come on, sign me up. The game looks real laid back, real nice. I love a game where you're like taming the wilderness and exploring and opening up new areas, kind of expanding your toolkit as you go. Doing something pretty casual, kind of at your own pace, but you're still working towards something. I love that it's just Pokemon. I love the weird kind of like pseudo-suggested post-apocalypse vibes. I know it's not actually gonna do any of that, but like, it sorta has that feel, and that kind of works for me. It's just a bunch of Pokemon chilling out on an island, having fun. I like that. Pokopia definitely doesn't look like the sort of game that's gonna knock my socks off, you know? And if anything, I probably have less patience for these kinds of games you can just sink hundreds of hours into as my life ticks by. But it does look really nice, and I am excited to play it. It looks like a real nice little slice of escapism. And on top of everything, you're a funny little Ditto character, and you turn into like freakish forms of other Pokemon. I don't know, just everything about this is nice. Number 6 is Yoshi and the Mysterious Book. There have been many Yoshi games over the years, but from where I'm sitting, none of them have hit the same as the original. I don't know what was going on at Nintendo when they made the original, but like, they still have not topped it. It just had this absolutely unique vibe, this really original and just wonderful art style. Such a great mix between cute and weird, you know? And the other games, they're usually still fun, you know? I liked Crafted World probably more than most people did, but it didn't have any of that vibe I'm looking for. It was just kind of cutesy and colorful and nice in its own way, but like, I need the strange. I need that, like, intense originality of the original. And Mysterious Book looks like the best shot we've had in 30 years. It's absolutely still colorful and friendly, but just a bit more strange this time. It's got this really unusual mix of art styles. I love how instead of just going with a picture book or some kind of craft, this is emulating like a field guide that someone is drawing. Like you're sketching creatures, but then it's also mixed with a bunch of like kind of stop motion elements. It just looks really cool. And then it seems like the creatures, that's actually what the game is about. You're like learning about these creatures, learning all of their features. So you've got the usual platforming stuff, but then this new element, this new like kind of problem solving sort of thing, still not 100% sure, but it looks real interesting. So in some ways it looks like it's just another Yoshi game, but then in other ways it kind of does look like something new, something unique. And I'm really, really curious to see how it turns out. I have no idea if there's any chance that it could top Yoshi's Island, which is really weird considering how old that game is. Like, why would a new game not ever top it? It was the very first one. It was on the Super NES, but I don't know. That's just a testament to how good Yoshi's Island is, so I don't know. We'll see. So, you want to talk about a reveal trailer that sent shockwaves through the industry. Number 5 is Coven of the Chicken Foot. This was revealed at the 2025 Game Awards, and with any big presentation like this, there's usually at least a small handful of games that kind of stick out, pique my interest. This year, there was really not that much, so I am particularly thankful that we at least got Coven of the Chicken Foot, because this game looks really good. I still don't know if there's like a name for this genre yet. You are commanding but not necessarily controlling a friendly creature who is larger and more capable than you, and it is very artistic and sentimental, and you cry at the end. And this is one of those. You play as a little old lady working with this big leafy kind of troll creature. The atmosphere and the art are really incredibly good. Even just the music in the trailer, very striking. I love how much personality we see, even just here in this trailer. A lot of just really cute little details, you know, even with like the creature putting the helmet on her head. It looks so nice. And I really just love how it is a video game that stars a little old lady. We don't get a whole lot of those, do we? So it's kind of rare, but then it also potentially could feed into that dynamic you usually see in games like this, where again, the creature, the friend, is usually like kind of much bigger than you, and so now you've got this big troll and this little old lady, and even here in the trailer, we see a part where the thing like gets mad and roars at her, so it's an interesting dynamic. Yeah, I don't know, it was one of those trailers where you gotta watch it once, and you're just like, okay, yeah, I'm sold. I'm really excited for this now. And apparently it's being made by ex-Naughty Dog devs, and it comes from an idea that they had way back in the Jak and Daxter days, so like, that's cool too. Number 4 is Mina the Hollower, and I do recognize it is slightly dangerous putting this on the list of 2026 games. It was supposed to come out on Halloween, but they delayed it just to touch up a few things. They didn't give us a new date, but there is kind of this feeling that the release is imminent, so they could technically shadow drop it at some point, maybe even during the production of this video, and it will end up being a 2025 game after all. I don't know, but at least right now, with under 2 weeks to go before 2026, I'm just gonna say Mina the Hollower is gonna be a 2026 game, and I'm real excited about it. Apparently this used to be a much smaller project. They anticipated that it would have been released by now, but it just kind of grew in scope. They had so many ideas for it, and it just kind of organically grew into this really big thing. But to me, it looks like it is absolutely gonna be worth it. The game is this just incredible, perfect mash of ideas. It's styled after the Game Boy Zeldas, which is already just a winning formula right there. We need more games like that. It's got this big open world, but then it's got this really big emphasis on combat, a lot of Souls-like elements, particularly Bloodborne, so like it's a Game Boy Zelda mixed with Bloodborne. Come on. The whole game has this like spooky theme, all the characters are cool animals, I don't know. Yeah, just literally everything about this game that I've seen or heard or even played myself in the demo, it's just perfect. Just looks perfect. So I am very, very excited to finally play Mina the Hollower. I hope that it releases soon, but no sooner than January 1st, 2026, please. Number 3 is Planet of Lana 2. The original Planet of Lana looked really, really incredible. Every time they put out a new trailer, I was all about it. I couldn't wait to play the game. Then I blinked, and suddenly the game had been out for 3 years, apparently. You know how these things go. But then recently, Thunderful approached me for a sponsorship, and I finally played Planet of Lana, and wow, I really liked it. So the sequel immediately jumped up near the top of this list. Children of the Leaf looks like it's got the same style and feel as the original, but then they're saying the game doubles the size and scope. And if there was one potential criticism of the original, it was just maybe not quite enough puzzle variety, you know, like the puzzles could be maybe just a little tiny bit repetitive. It wasn't a really big problem for me, but like, okay, yeah, if you could say there's something wrong with it, it could have done a little bit more with its mechanics. This game, even just judging by the short trailer, clearly aims to fix this. Way more variety, a lot more mechanics to play with, particularly with having Mui control other creatures. It looks like they've really gone hog wild on that whole concept. There is a little part of me that worries just a smidge about expanding the scope and the complexity too much. The original game, it was like a grand adventure, but it still had a relatively intimate feel. This one looks like it might not end up having quite the same vibe, but obviously I don't know for sure, and even if that is true, it's really not a problem. It's okay for the sequel to feel different, and sometimes it is okay to just go bigger and more. And if that means expanding this world and digging even deeper into the lore and everything, then I am 1000% on board. I cannot wait to play Planet of Lana 2 in 2026. Number 2 is Reanimal, and this is another one of those ones where I really just need to watch the trailer for a couple of seconds. Just give me like 1 or 2 shots of the game, and I'm 100% sold. And I have actually seen very little. I have pretty much purposefully avoided watching too much footage of this game. And yeah, it's because I'm just that sold on the idea. Again, like just glancing at what the game even is, the type of game and the overall way that it looks and feels. And I'm there. Like I want it. I want it really, really badly. I love horror in the first place, but when it comes to games, I feel like the best horror is very highly stylized, you know? It's when they scale back the realism and they lean a bit more into like, I want to say cartoony, but cartoony kind of suggests a more playful and colorful style. It's cartoony in that it is kind of unreal, it is surreal, it is fantastical. The characters and the monsters and the set pieces, and it's just this really intense unreality to the whole thing. Because when you pull it off, it means that your game is not only just that much more unique than a, regular realistic themed survival horror game, but it puts the whole experience on another level of freakishness, of scariness, And maybe on paper the point is to scare the player, but to me these kinds of games, there's such an artfulness to them. Everything is so meticulously crafted, every little moment, every step, every encounter, everything working together between the set design and the puzzles and the scares themselves and how you build tension and how much agency the player has versus the helplessness. You gotta kind of keep it in balance. You boil all this down into a relatively short but really focused experience. That's art right there. And that is what I see here. I glance at it, I see what it's going for. I know that it's made by a bunch of the Little Nightmares devs. That's literally all I need for this to be number 2 on my list of the games I cannot wait to play in 2026. All right, no more screwing around. I'm looking forward to all of these games, but there is one game that easily takes the cake. Without question, this is a legendary series, and I cannot believe we're finally getting a new installment. It is, of course, Resident Evil Requiem. I honestly don't know what kind of magic Capcom puts into these games. I like horror, but I'm really not even that much of a shooter fan. I don't play other, zombie games, but there is just something about the Resident Evil formula. There is just something about the way they make these games, between the really crunchy, satisfying, reactive gameplay, the incredible visuals, the ridiculous story and characters and everything. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, I love it. And the series has had its ups and downs, obviously, something of an identity crisis here and there, but they figured it out. 7 was incredible, 8 was incredible, even Shadow of Rose, I really like that too. I like all of the modern Resident Evil stuff they have been doing. This one aims to deliver horror and action in equal measure. Okay, perfect. You can even choose if you want to play in first person or third person. Okay, great. It's a case where I already trust Capcom completely with this game. And then just on top of that, the icing on the cake, everything I've seen also just looks perfect. Looks like everything I could want. There is absolutely no question in my mind that Resident Evil Requiem is the game I am most excited to play in 2026. And I only have to wait until February. Oh, bless you, Capcom. Bless you. Let's close things out with a few honorable mentions in no particular order. Splatoon Raiders. I really do like Splatoon. I am excited to play Splatoon Raiders. I have no doubt that it will be a good game, but we still technically don't really know what it is, like basically at all. So I didn't want to put it on the main list since right now it's basically just a name. No idea why Nintendo revealed it so early, but whatever it ends up being, I'm looking forward to playing it. And we've got Super Mario Bros. Wonder Switch 2 Edition. Did not put it on the main list because this is not a whole game, naturally. We know that the game is getting some multiplayer content, which we saw already, and some single player content, which we have absolutely no idea about whatsoever. I don't know how much single player content I can reasonably expect, but again, at the very least, I can say I'm looking forward to whatever it is. Then we've got Pokemon Gen 10. As I mentioned earlier, I do like Pokemon, but I'm not as much of a fan of everything that comes with Pokemon. I'm not looking forward to the controversy. I'm not looking forward to seeing in what ways this game will end up disappointing us. But there is still that part of me that's pretty darn excited to at least see what it's gonna be. I mean, it's really the leaks. The leaks are really what did it. I just really, really like everything that I have heard about Gen 10 so far. So the potential is there. That doesn't necessarily mean that the execution will be there, but at least right now, here in 2025, the potential is there. And then finally, we all make jokes about this game. It's easy to make jokes about this game, but that doesn't mean I am not intensely, overwhelmingly excited to finally play Catly in 2026. Now, we haven't really heard anything about this game for quite a while. It was revealed at the 2024 Game Awards, and then the developers went pretty much silent after that. There was like one little update that showed some gameplay, but nothing since then. But you know what? I gotta hold on to hope. I gotta hold that hope real tight, keep it close to my heart. I simply have to believe that we will play Catly in 2026. If there is any hope for this world, we will all be playing Catly this time next year. So there you go. Those are the 2026 games I can't wait to play. Please give us your 2026 hype list down in the comments, and I'll catch you later. Some